Hey everybody, welcome into a Thursday edition of the Computer America Show. We're just doing background stuff, so hang in with us and we'll be starting the show shortly.
I'll be there in just a second.
Well, I want to see you in there. Charles? There you are, David. Okay, David, you see? David, you there?
I'm right here.
Excellent. Okay. We're going to
I'm right here.
We're going to start momentarily. You can hear me, right?
Right, and I can see Charles sipping coffee. I can hear you.
All right, good. Here we go. We're going on the air. We're already on the Hangouts there, but we're starting now live in a moment.
Hey, Charles. Charles.
Casting live. It's
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Craig, you're running the intro early.
Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America's heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host,
Craig Grossman.
And I'm David Perry. Wait.
Wrong color.
You wish you were David Perry.
I'm Batman. Or actually, to be politically correct, I am certified ethical hacker Black Man.
Or Charles Tendell.
Or Charles Tendell. You could do that. I thought that was funny. That should have been funny.
It was funny, you know. What was it? We got that.
I'm going back to eating my soup.
You're eating your soup or drinking your soup?
Drinking my soup, but there's chunky things in it, so I'm also eating it.
Eating it. Okay. Oh, is that the chunky soup?
No, this is one of my favorite soups. It's the what is it? The cheesy broccoli. Yep, broccoli, cheese, cheddar soup.
That's one of my wife's favorites soup is broccoli cheese soup.
So now you're in trouble, you know. So when I run off with your wife,
or the soup, or the
soup, soup and the wife, soup and your wife. How's she doing, by the way?
Could be better. That's so. The thing that procedure she didn't work, so we now have to go more aggressive. Yeah.
She's not in any pain or anything, is she? Or
no, thank goodness. But she feels like she's been beat up because after the first the procedure, just to make sure it's a lithotripsy. And supposedly it breaks up kidney stones via shock waves, sound waves, and evidently it didn't work, and so now we have to go to a more aggressive. They have to use the little tiny microsurgery and go in through her back and break the stone up and pull it out that way. So,
but I heard they make an app for that. I think it's on your gold iPhone 5S.
I'm going to have to walk stooped over for the rest of the night just for your mentioning that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, wow.
Well, they say if you ever see a man on his knees, in horrible pain, it's probably a kidney stone. It's probably the worst pain you can ever feel. So it's worse than childbirth.
I think Bill Cosby described it best. If you want to understand the pain that women go through in childbirth, take your bottom lip, right? Okay,
yes.
And stretch it up over the top of your head.
I remember that. He's a funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to all of his. He's a very funny man, and he can be funny, and he does it without having to revert to obscenities.
Unless he's playing Vegas.
I don't think he ever uses obscenities in Vegas either.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Oh, see, well, now you've just ruined another.
It's okay, Craig. It's okay, Craig. You would suffer from what Bill Cosby would call brain damage.
Yes, I know that. His children were all brain damaged, by the way, too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think Bill Cosby used obscenities in any of his routines, so that I find that surprising. Well, because he can be hysterically funny without having to do that. Today's comedians, they're all very funny, and I like it, but they all use it. They use that. They just, for some reason,
Are you telling me that in your stand-up comedy days you didn't use any obscenities?
No.
Never?
Never.
What was your best joke?
A priest, a nun, and a rabbi walk into a bar. The bartender looks and says, "Hey, what is this? Some kind of joke?"
I got a better one for you. It's a Craig Crossman original.
Yeah, what is that?
Okay. The past, the present, and the future all walk into a bar.
Yeah.
It was tense.
Exactly. You got one for us, David? No, I got. Oh wait,
A little duck walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "What can I get you?" And the duck says, "I'd like some cheese, please." And he goes, "This is a bar, little duck. I can't get you any cheese." He goes, "Then bring me some cheese. I want cheese." And he goes, "Listen, little duck, this is a bar." And he goes, "Cheese, cheese, cheese." He goes, "Listen, little duck, and listen carefully. A, this is a bar. We don't have any cheese. And B, if you ask me for cheese again, I'm going to nail your little web feet to the floor. Now think carefully. What can I get you?" And the duck thinks, and he thinks, and he goes, "I'll have some nails." And he goes, "I don't have any nails, little duck." And he goes, "Then bring me that cheese." You tell that joke to a 10-year-old, you will never hear the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor duck nailed to the floor.
Yeah. Now listen, we haven't even introduced our guest yet, so that's just it's a voice in the cloud, and we'll. But anyway, welcome into
It's funny
The
you should
man that
mention
needs no introduction.
a Thursday edition of the Computer America Show, and you listen to us live on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network, and if you, let's get this out of the way, if you want to get in on the conversation and talk to us, you can by calling us at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. Email is live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive add-on chat room from our homepage at computeramerica.com. Under the first pull-down menu, you'll see chat room. We also have a button there. Click it or select it, and then it'll ask you for a username. Put that in. That's the name you'll be known by when you go into the chat room.
And then you'll spend the next half hour updating Java.
No, and then click the sign-in button in your Java-enabled browser on a Windows machine, Mac, Linux. They all work. We'll move you into the chat room. And also, sharing that chat room page is our live Computer America video stream. And that live Computer America video streaming page is brought to you by Other World Computing. That's quality products, expert support since 1988, now celebrating their 25th anniversary. Look, if you have any needs for anything for your Apple, Mac, you need memory for your computer, even your legacy Macs, they have it all. Portable batteries, they have the replacements. Back to 1998, they have all the batteries with installation videos that you can watch. Visit them at www.macsales.com. They got great prices. Check it all out, and you'll be tell them we sent you at macsales.com. You're gonna be.
I want to point something out. This is the poke fun at Craig yet again.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mac Sales should give me a discount on all of my stuff because you see this video right here, the video that's going on right now, right here. See, here's the Other World Computing logo right here.
I promise that I would ask for you, and in the havoc, I just didn't get to it.
You forgot. But what I'm pointing out is I am the only one live on the video. Greg is still hiding behind his webcam and firewall.
I will make it a point to speak with him tomorrow, Charles, on your behalf.
Turn on your webcam.
Okay.
All you have to do.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Anyway, well, these are all different things where you can reach us at computeramerica.com and participate. Also, you can go to our show notes page at computeramerica.com. You'll see today's May 29th, and you can see all the great things that we're going to be talking about for both hours. And there's a link there to a company which we're going to explain momentarily, and that's because it has something to do with our guest tonight. His name is David Michael Perry, or David Perry. And he's been in the computer game for over 30 years, doing everything from tech support to being the educational spokesperson for companies like Trend, OnLab, Symantec, Cybermedia, and so many more. These efforts have made him one of the country's leading anti-malware experts. And now David is just back from Helsinki, right?
And Berlin.
Yes, and now David is the direct strategist for F-Secure.
No. Threat strategist.
Oh, not direct.
What does that mean?
I made that up. Do you like that job title?
We will find that out. The threat strategist for F-Secure. That's the new job that he has. So we need to big congratulations. Yeah. Okay. And he's also an official Computer America correspondent. They are the few, the proud, and the very different. David, welcome into Computer America. How the heck are you?
I'm fantastic. It was funny. I was in Helsinki. I've just started with this job, and they flew me out to Helsinki, where they've been for 26 years. They're one of the world's leading anti-malware firms. I'm sure Charles will attest to this.
I am aware of F-Secure. They're not very mainstream yet, but I'm still.
No, they've just won every prize from every test for 26 years now.
Yeah. They're a small, tiny little company.
Yeah. So they're a fairly sizable company. They're in like 100 countries around the world, and they unusually don't sell anything in stores. Everything they sell through ISPs. So most of their things are mobile connected, are about mobility computing these days. They do make a standard antivirus software item that we're going to talk about, because in light of the fact that the head of sales for enterprise antivirus for Symantec Corporation said antivirus is dead. I love that. I love that.
Antivirus is dead.
It is dead.
It is
and
completely ineffective.
My response to that is, well, duh, because I don't know anybody who's made vanilla antivirus for 5 years, if not 10 years, and including Symantec. And this guy knows better than this. Whenever somebody comes out and manages to say that, it's because they've got some new secret sauce they're peddling. You know, in his, he was trying to sell anti-advanced persistent threat.
How do you sell what?
You've heard the term advanced persistent threat?
I am well aware of advanced persistent threat. It's what hackers have been doing for years, and we enjoy it, and we love lingering on your networks. It's just somebody somewhere decided they were going to coin a phrase, and now it's important. But
yes, what I'm going to jump in here and say is we get the phrase from the world of intelligence, and it doesn't necessarily mean malware. But the marketing guys, like this guy, are treating it like it was a new flavor of malware. So that's what he's doing, is he's saying, well, you need APT software. It's like, APTs include stuff like getting a rogue employee hired in a company. And there's no antivirus software or any antecedent of it that's going to be able to detect that. So APT software, it was hooey. The guy was full of hooey when he said that. Of course it's dead. I don't know of any company that makes regular old antivirus software anymore. Everyone still has a string scanner, and the reason, Charles, that we still have a string scanner is to find and remediate common malware code. If there's a common code module that needs to be removed, we find it and remove it. And that's all the string scanner does. It's one of 14 or 15 engines in your modern internet security software that might include whitelisting and dozens of other engines. And we can do this in some depth on a future show and talk about. I just sat through a week's briefing with the engineering department where I went through all of the 14 engines that are in F-Secure's product, and I can tell you all about all of the different things they do, and it's not antivirus.
In the words of Charles Barkley, that's just terrible. Just terrible, terrible.
Charles is a very articulate guy.
Yeah, you met each other out at the CES, right?
No, I was cyber stalking David Perry, and then kind of followed him around for a little bit, and then he didn't realize it, but I was hanging out with him at his hotel room, and I was in the closet, and then he threw a bag at me, that really hurt me.
Ready for this? I didn't have a hotel room at CES.
Oh, that's right. I forget you were staying with like a family member.
Yes, I was. However, I will have a hotel room at Black Hat and DEF CON, where I will be this summer.
And
I will be at both as well.
Yes, we're going to be out there as well, too. Charles is going to be out there.
So you have a press pass for Black Hat?
I do. I've also got a pass for DEF CON, but we're even better still, Azorian Cybersecurity will be presenting at DEF CON. So I'm going to be there in one fashion for one event, and I'm going to be there as the man in the other event. So
yes.
I'm gonna call you the Fed, man. I'm gonna spot you as the Fed.
Oh, it's okay. At DEF CON, I'm already the oddball out. I'm the black guy in a cowboy hat. They just don't know how to act.
I hate to say this, but it is a mighty pale sort of an occupation, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah, I've noticed that before. I at least am half Italian. I've got a tan.
Yeah, but see, you still fit in much closer than I do.
It's true.
Like I walk in like it's
I got the
amazing,
bad
actually.
clothes and everything, you know.
Yeah, but it's amazing. It's amazing because like I walk through and like all the black guys in there are only like 10 of us that go, right?
And
we all
half of them from the FBI.
Yeah, you know, every last one of us, we all see each other. We're like, "What's up, man?" Give the token black guy nod, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then later we all end up gravitating to like the same bar, you know, or the same general area, and we talk about how there are no other black people here, and that we're in trouble because there are 5 of us, and now it's a gang.
There are plenty of black hackers in the world.
In the world.
Black
In the world.
hackers.
There's plenty of black hacker. Well, there's plenty of people in Nigeria, for example.
Yeah, but you know,
They're Nigerian.
No offense.
They're Nigerian, and I'm going to put it this way, and I think I'm going to probably cross the line here, but they're Nigerian. They're not black. They're purple.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Actually, a lot of them are not even Nigerian. They're like from Holland or someplace.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, that's kind of the trademark now for me. Is, you know, when I show up on the scene, I own it. I mean, I'm just like, yeah, I am that guy. I'm just sorry, you know. And you know, I make enemies fast. I make friends almost as fast, you know. But it becomes it's a trademark. It's good in the security space. It's good to have a trademark. You know,
It's good to have a brand. It's true.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to be someone different. Now, what makes a lot of my counterparts upset is, you know, they're security professionals, air quote. But you know, I'm the one that's in CNN Money, Forbes, business journals all over the world. You know, you name it, I've been in the publication because that's what I do.
I know somebody else that's true of, Charles.
Who?
Me.
But
Look, you're not black.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, but you know,
We got that.
Wait a minute. You cannot glance over Blazing Saddles reference and not.
Quoting Lily von Stupp.
Yeah.
When you come to the Magic Castle, I will introduce you to Lily von Stupp.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
Do I need to bring my Wiener Schnitzel?
You're not from Cuba, baby.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
See, now you got Craig is showing that you don't have the skill that Bill Cosby had.
See?
We're busting him up. This is like we're really messing up with Craig's night here. Look, so I'm at F-Secure now, and not meaning to come full circle on that, but I spent a week in Helsinki, and I spend a week in Berlin at a customer event that we have, and I show up in Berlin, and they say, "Hello, Mr. Perry," at the hotel, and they say, "May we have your passport, please?" And I give them my passport. May we have your credit card, please? And I give them my papers. And they look at me and they say, "Strat or Tele?" And I go, "What?" And they said, "Stratocaster or Telecaster, what kind of guitar would you like with your room?" It's a rock and roll hotel, and every room comes with an electric guitar and a Marshall amp or a keyboard or a DJ setup.
Yeah, but do people bang on the wall saying, "Keep it down"?
No, you just hear people loud through the wall all night long.
How do you sleep in a hotel like that?
You rock out.
With your Bose noise-canceling headphones on. I asked for the DJ setup. I was spinning Janelle Monáe, who I'm a big fan of right now. So, who is the only trip-hop R&B artist from Kansas City who all of her songs are science fiction. So she's fantastic. That's Janelle Monáe. I highly recommend her for everybody. Anyway, so I'm speaking at this, and we have as a co-speaker. The first day, we have David Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff.
You know who that is?
Don't mess with the Hoff.
And the second day, we have Bruce Davidson from Iron Maiden.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they said the same thing about appearing on the same stage with David Perry. Actually, I got to appear on the same stage finally after all these years with Mikko Huppinen, who is a really, 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 really good character. We'll get him on the show sometime.
That's how I feel when I'm in my Lincoln. Kit, we have to go save David Perry. He's trapped in a hotel with musicians. He's rocking out.
I show up to breakfast. They had a trance DJ spinning at breakfast.
Nice. What
It
hotel
was real.
that?
It was called the NHOW, NHOW, Music and Lifestyle Hotel in Berlin, and all the rooms were hot pink and had oscilloscope traces on the walls.
My goodness. You know what? For a second there, I thought you were like, oh, no, it was this random hostel. You know, they filmed this movie there, but I couldn't remember what it was. But I think
Oh, no. This was the NHOW Music and Lifestyle Hotel of East Berlin, right on the wall.
Now, wait. With every music thing, there are groupies. Did you get your own groupies?
You know, I'm not going to go there, Charles. I've been in this game for a while. We're not even going to talk about that.
No groupies. Got it.
Right. So, yeah, you know, it's funny. I have friends who complain about Big Bang Theory because the guys are getting too much action.
What?
For the kind of geeks that they are, they're getting too much action.
Geeky is sexy. Ask my wife. And just to poke it,
ask my mom. Yeah.
My wife says the same thing. When she first saw me, you know, I had I had a cell phone that had the lighted keypad that would change all different colors and flick, and she saw that, and she went, "Ooh, geek."
Ooh, geek. You sure it wasn't the white belt?
Yeah, she liked it. Yeah,
white belt or the light up phone?
No, the light.
Right. Anyway. So I'm here at F-Secure. I am.
Congratulations, by the way. I know you've
in the middle of learning all kinds of new stuff about new kinds of software, and it's funny because it's not purely an anti-malware play. It is more of a total security kind of a play than I have been with in the past. And they've done a lot of interesting things. But isn't it about time for our first break?
No,
not yet. We got 9 minutes left.
More 9 minutes.
Jeez, you guys have cut a better deal with the network or something.
Yes, we have. Yeah, so we have a break at the bottom and the top of each hour. That's it. So
okay.
We get to talk more.
Okay, so yeah, so there are a number of different pieces of software I would like you guys to check out. So the next time I'm on the show, we can talk about them.
And I understand next time you're on the show, you'll have some to give away too.
I'm hoping to get some to give away. I said I want to give away some software. They go, okay, well, send them to the web page and tell them to download the 30-day trial. I said no.
No.
So wait. So you're at F-Secure. What do you do? What is your title? What is the Perry's job?
Well,
okay, I have always had the same job, Charles. I go to the research department, and they tell me we are discovering this, and I read 200 pages of research, and I boil it down into 8 English sentences, and go on the media with it.
Yes, you're the educational. Consumer educational person for the company, and of course
because you can't put an actual virus researcher on television.
They freeze.
They kind of fold up, or they try to describe things. See, I know I did 26 years of tech support, so actually I don't care if your computer ever runs again. No, after I did 26 years of tech support, so what happens is I learned what it is that people want to know. And they never want to know what the technical details of the malware is. Never.
What do they want to know?
They want to know how is it going to affect them.
Mm.
And increasingly, this is something that the researchers don't even know themselves, because we are now receiving so many new unique samples of malware in a day that nobody even bothers to do that level of analysis.
Well, there's really
Yeah.
There's no point to doing a malware analysis any longer. Like
right.
it's the bottom line is simply this. Oh, I just learned this malware. Guess what? You're outdated. The community and the design is happening so much faster than any one can keep up with. There's really
Yes.
no way for anyone to be like, oh, I found it. All the antivirus companies, everyone on the planet, they're always about a week, 2 weeks, even a month or several months behind the underground. And that's
I would say, in terms of detecting with strings, that's always true.
Well-
And it's even worse than that. We're now seeing more than 1 million unique samples a day.
But that's the thing,
malware.
you can't detect with a string, and this is what I've been preaching for years. The reactive approach to identifying malware, APTs, whatever it is, different types of attack, it's dead. It's done. It's had its time. It's come
And that's
gone.
why nobody with a brain is doing that anymore.
Okay. Well, so what is F-Secure doing?
Well, we do reputation analysis, where we look at the web pages and IP addresses that things are coming from and the domains. We do cloud network flow analysis in real time. We do a VPN where we're actually intercepting traffic on the VPN in 2 places and watching it iterate from the front to the back. We do behavioral code analysis. We do structural code analysis. And we do balancing analysis and whitelisting. Like I said, 14 engines. So I could go on and on and on and on. It's a pretty deep map.
That
What's
reminds me.
cool is one of the internal engines, the one that has multiple tools that it switches out and uses depending on what it discovers earlier in the chain. That engine is called Hydra. So hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra!
Okay, so
Hail Hydra!
you were going to ask David a question before we put you, Charles.
I don't remember.
Was that a good enough answer for you, though, Charles? I can give
Well,
you a lot of detail over because I'm here all the time.
Well, I don't need details, and I don't need anything like that. The one answer that no one has given me to this point is we are doing dynamic threat analysis. And the reason I say that, the reason I'm like drilling that in is because, for example, we were telling our clients about Heartbleed before it broke.
We are doing dynamic threat analysis.
Okay, because it comes down to something very simple. The guys who end up at these organizations, right, who end up at insert anti anything company here, they are not hackers anymore. They've got the idea, they've gone out, they've found that the niche is now to make money, and that's where they're after, and they sit in these little rooms and they come up with these theoretical scenarios and they get other people's malware and other people's designs, and they're like, oh, this could be bad this way. No.
Charles, do you know Joe Wells?
No.
Do you know Dr. Richard Ford?
No.
Do you know Mikko Huppanen?
No.
Do you know? I could go on. The secret sauce people, the people who are the architects behind this stuff. A lot of these guys are bona fide geniuses.
Bona fide genius.
Dr. Morton Schwimmer. Do you know Morton Schwimmer?
Again, you can throw PhDs and doctorates at me.
No. Do you know Morton Schwimmer?
No.
I will introduce you to him at DEF CON.
Okay. What I'm saying to you is that there is a definitive line between the underground and everyone else. You can be Doctor Who for all I care, and you can tell me till I'm blue in the face, which we've already talked about the black thing, so it's very hard to do. Right? You could talk till I'm blue in the face about how you've got these theories and these ideas and these designs and these codes and yada 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 blah. No.
I know 100 people who could hack your shoes off while you were standing in them. And I am telling you the truth.
And I know 1,000 people right now. 1,000 people right now. I could pick up my phone. I could pick it up right now and send a text message. And I could tell you in probably about 20 minutes 10 of the most interesting hacks that are going to be coming out in the next week.
Yeah, I could do that too, but I don't talk about that stuff.
Why not?
Because that's not my job.
Well, I get that's not your job, but this is my problem with basically your presentation is all of these guys you threw at me with their doctorates and PhDs and so on and so forth. I'm like 12 credit hours away from my PhD, whatever. That's not what I used for credibility. That's not what I used to discern their design.
Okay. Dr. Morton Schwimmer has 1,500 patents to his name.
So what?
and he writes real-time research in real time. The man's a genius. He's a real genius, a really real genius in computer security in real time, right here and now. Okay, Miko, genius. Okay, the top guys, you're not meeting them. You're not meeting them. They're busy. You know, they're too busy, and they're too busy to talk to the media, and I'm there to do the media run. That's my job.
Okay.
You know, they do because somebody has to talk to the media, and I'm skilled at talking to the media, and that's what I do. And you know, you want to tell me that the underground hackers are more skilled. It ain't true.
Okay. I mean, I can argue this point. I can argue this point for the remainder of the hour and a half that we have on the show.
Sure. You know Sarah Gordon. She would argue the same side of the story that you're on.
Okay, flat out, the guys that are working, CEOs, doctors, head of development, whatever it is at these companies, they are not connected to the underground. This is why.
Oh no, they're connected to the underground.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll continue this on right after the break. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Boost Radio Network, and the Blog Talk Radio Network, the IRN Radio Network. David Perry is here with us from F-Secure, and Charles and David are really getting it on. And we'll continue on with this when we come back here on Computer America.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented Thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. Their mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south, rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org.
Can you call into the Crossman Show?
www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision.
Nowhere than I do.
For lack of a home.
ComputerAmerica.com.
Hello, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin review of the Netgear AT&T Unite Pro. I have to say, the idea of a Wi-Fi hotspot based on a cell service connection did not at first seem to be a great idea. Then our AT&T Share plan bumped us up to 10 gigabytes per month. And at the same time, we got pitched by the PR agency to review their smartphone-size AT&T Unite Pro device built by Netgear. A few things came to mind. We can use it on car trips to connect our tablets, when walking in cities to keep Wi-Fi searches from draining our handset batteries. And I can use it at trade shows when casino lobby connections or gamble. The Unite Pro is a dual band unit, dual Wi-Fi bands. So higher bandwidth options are available than with many single band units, and it supports connections among up to 15 devices. Our biggest challenge was a screwy touchscreen. Using a fine point stylus, a rubber stylus, and fingertips, it took more than 150 keystrokes to get the 18 characters we wanted to appear, but user entry is rare with this device. Its internal battery means that you can connect its micro USB charging port to a car's USB adapted 12-volt plug and it can keep running after you turn the car off. Bottom line, the Netgear AT&T Unite Pro gives us high Wi-Fi bandwidth for lots of gear in places that are otherwise Wi-Fi deprived. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
And welcome back to the Computer America Show. We are in the first hour, 33 minutes after the hour to be exact, and we are having a interesting conversation with David Perry. If you guys want to get in on this conversation, give me a call, 347-884-8881. That number again, 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. Or shoot us an email live at computeramerica.com, or join us in our live interactive add-on chat room over at computeramerica.com, right above which you see me in the live video as Batman. I'm there, Craig's there, in the chat room there is all of our normal Computer America friends having a good old time. And yeah. Oh wait, there's something I'm supposed to say about Otherworld Computing. Yeah, MacSales.com, great stuff, great people. Do that.
David, I had to mute your microphone because you were talking when we're live and on the air. Remember, your mic is always on, so I had to mute you. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I've got some people calling in.
Yeah, so all I'm saying is that during the breaks you should mute your mic, otherwise we have to mute you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So,
So,
you used to be able to do that when you were in a real radio studio. I remember that.
I can still do that. I mean, I just muted you.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I would rather not have to do that. So where were we? Oh yeah, so you and Charles were debating about what's important.
It's, I get this a lot. And I understand. I've been to all of the DEF CONs so far and all of the Black Hats.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to all of the ISOIs and all of the VBs and all the RSAs and all the B-sides. And, Miko refused to speak at RSA because they put in a backdoor for the NSA. So he spoke at Secure Computing across the street during the RSA conference. He boycotted the RSA conference. The interesting thing. But a lot of these guys go way, 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 way back into the hacking world. And a lot of the smartest people that come out of the hacking world end up working in security companies of one sort or another. So, the ability to produce a better encryption standard than WinDiffy, or the ability to create a better detection standard than existing heuristics or reactive or interreactive or proactive, or the problem is that as the algorithms are invented, they become outdated and have to be replaced. So we're constantly updating this software. Constantly updating it. We've had to completely replace all of the engines every 4 to 6 months for the last 10 years. And so there's nothing left that used to be there. There are no straight string scanners that I know of in the whole world.
So I'm a little confused what the bone of contention was then, because Charles
is telling me that all the hackers are smarter than all of the people who work for companies.
If they weren't, the companies wouldn't exist.
No, that's not true.
If the hackers weren't developing threats,
hackers are developing threats. That's true.
If the threat wasn't real, these companies would not exist. My company would not exist if there was not a bona fide need for people to combat the hacker threat, period. And
what's interesting, though, is today's threats that we're seeing are not being written by individual hackers. They're being written by corporations in India that are writing bulk malware for Russian, crime czars.
Okay.
We're not seeing the individual hacker kinds of threats we were seeing even 8 to 10 years ago. Now, did you guys see I'm just going to jump in here completely out of left field because I'm going to agree to disagree with you just on that so far, Charles, except to say that, yes, it's true. There are hackers. They are creating threats, and that's why there are anti-hacker tools. And this will continue to go on forever and ever. And it's not going to end ever. And there's never going to be a solid solution. However, it's a pretty solid solution to switch to Linux at this point. It's better, or to switch to a Mac. That's a very good solution for a lot of people. It's not perfect, but it's better than a lot of the things that you can buy. Or to move, if you're going to have secure computing, move it to your mobile device. But mobile devices are far from secure. There isn't any computing that's secure computing that I know of in the whole world. Would you agree with me on that?
Yep.
Right, and before I was going to even bring up the season finale of Person of Interest last week.
Listen, we got a caller. Yeah, in the 619 area code, and we're going to say hello, and he has a question for you. Computer America, Craig Crossman. Hi, welcome to the show. How can we help you?
Good evening, Craig and David, everyone else who's there and listening. This is Ari Goretsky. Actually, I'm an old colleague of David, and like to, first of all, congratulate him with the new job at F-Secure.
Thanks, Ari. Ari was the next-door neighbor of John McAfee, who helped him to start McAfee Computing back in the day.
Okay.
Well, that was kind of a long time ago. I've since moved on, but I was just listening to the show and enjoying the discussion. And you know, I was very interested in this discussion because it kind of borders on one of the areas that people don't necessarily take a look at, which is the capitalization behind malware and anti-malware development. And you know, on one side, you have, well, the bad guys. They tend to follow those criminal organization models, and you know, for one thing, they're not very likely to be paying traditional kinds of taxes, although they may be paying those in their countries in the forms of bribes to avoid law enforcement interception, those kinds of things. And on the other side, you have your traditionally, you know, financially modeled businesses, the anti-malware folks. And then kind of in between, there's nation-state actors, but that's kind of off to the side. Your taxes at work, perhaps. You know, but I was wondering, do you know if anyone has done a comprehensive study of the, first of all, the market size of either space, and also looked at the capitalization there of how they are investing the money that they receive?
I know Paul Ferguson found that company in India that was writing malware for the Russian mob, and I believe they were getting paid as much as $200,000 per major code segment.
The zero-day vulnerability and exploit research industry, I shouldn't even say industry, the underground people who go out and find things in, say, Flash or Java or, you know, Internet Explorer, so on and so forth, these exploits run on the black market anywhere from a couple of $100 to tens of thousands to even millions of dollars based on the level of compromise that they're doing. So the amounts of money that change hands on both sides are my wife's going to yell at me for using this wrong, epic. They are never-ending, you know, trails of money where people are doing these things. But then you also have to think about that there are people out there who are doing this that aren't for money. They're doing it just because they can. And the motivation behind it, you get a highly skilled, politically motivated attacker, and there's no ends to what they're going to do, and no amount of money is going to do that. Now you flip the script on everyone who's created a defense mechanism on it. There are two people in that industry. There are the ones who actually developed it because they saw a need for this tool, and then there are the ones who did it to make money. On both sides of that coin, there are still, again, multi-millions of dollars to be made there. Look at, you know, organizations like Symantec. Look at McAfee. John McAfee is a brilliant guy. He's kind of eccentric. Yeah.
You know, John McAfee never wrote an antivirus software piece in his entire life.
He's nuts, but he's still a cool guy.
I don't think he's nuts. Ari, you know him better than I do. Is the guy nuts?
Plead the fifth.
Mr. McAfee's public persona and his private persona are very different, and you have to realize that when he does things like these crazy interviews with the mainstream media or post videos on YouTube, those are designed to elicit a particular response from the public. The kinds of responses, the talks that he gives at conferences, when he's been on some radio shows like Computer America. I don't know if he's been on before. Those tend to be very different, much more lower key. But to get back to the earlier comment about the O-Day business, zero-day business being millions of dollars, still companies like McAfee is a $7.5 billion or so company. Symantec, I've heard, I believe $16 to $20 billion, depending upon what quarter you're looking at. So still, that seems like there's at least an order of magnitude more money being spent on defense than on attack, at least that you can track.
Without drawing an accountant out or pulling up anybody that I know from any of my places where they make lots and lots of money, naturally there is no way to track underground transactions. That's just the nature of the beast.
And especially now that they're not on regular currency most of the time.
Yeah, but there's more spent in defense because it's put in a position now where people believe that they have to spend millions of dollars combating things like virus signatures, and the design is the more fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market, the more money these people make. The Black Shades incident that happened recently. Suddenly, everybody's saying, how I can protect you against Black Shades. Seriously, if you weren't protecting me against Black Shades for starting before now, you have a problem. It's capitalism versus creativity and drive and desire. So it's comparing apples to oranges in a sense of the financials behind it. I spend a good chunk of my day working with, and for lack of a better term, hiring hackers. I don't hire security professionals, and I know this is going to sound detrimental to my own standing. I don't hire guys who are certified ethical hackers. I don't hire CISSPs. I don't go looking for these people. I go looking for skill sets. I go looking for demonstrated abilities and, frankly, connections that most security professionals, myself included, have begun to lose because we are at the helm of companies or we're at executive level ranges in companies, and it becomes this song and dance show of I want to stick to my roots, but I can't. So the money behind it all is what motivates just us on the corporate side, on the capitalism side, on the ones who are out to make a lot of money. Who's the Russian girl? I forget her name. Her whole purpose behind hacking and stealing millions of dollars was so that she could donate it to someone else.
You mean Blue Pill Girl?
I don't know her name.
She's not a girl.
No, there's a Russian girl that I have to ask someone. I'd have to phone a friend to find out. But there's a Russian girl that hacked into several banks in Europe, stole money from all of them, and then donated them to a charity. And that happens regularly.
Caller, what's your name, caller? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
This is Ari Goretsky.
Ari?
All right. Are you with ESET, by the way?
Yeah, Ari's been on the show.
I am. However, I'm not speaking, of course, on behalf of them.
Okay.
I just periodically listen to the show and am calling in this evening.
Okay, because last time we talked to someone called Dan Clark from ESET. He was on the show back in 2010.
Sure. I believe he was in our marketing department.
Right.
I don't think he's longer with the company.
Huh.
I'm on the research side of things, so I obviously don't speak very publicly. Unless I'm at a conference kind of a thing.
Right, and the reason I ask is one of the people in our chat room recognized you and said that you're an op in Perillo's chat, and evidently he knows Fort in our chat room knows of you. So just that I want to mention it.
Fort. We did meet through the Chris Perillo's chat a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's a very small world.
Yes, it is.
Hi, Fort.
He's listening.
Well, Charles, to answer your question about what I do for a living, I did 26 years of technical support. And one day they got a marketing call in a company that I was at. I was at a company called Cyber Media, and they said, Dave, can you handle this? And I answered the phone, and they said, send this guy from now on, because I could explain something, rather than the marketing people who couldn't. So that's what I do. I explain things.
Okay.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No. No,
Okay.
I mean, it just we have a different perspective on things, and I think that's what makes good radio. I think that's why Craig was like, "Oh, I'm just going to shut up and watch this one go."
That's right. I wanted to see it was getting heated up, and I saw.
Well, it's
my bottom line is this.
A lot at a place like DEF CON or Black Hat. I go, oh, you antivirus guys all think you have the answer, and you don't, because we do. Ha 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 ha.
No.
I was at DEF CON 1.
So what's your bottom line, Charles?
My bottom line is very simple. Would you do your job for free?
I have for a long time.
No.
I did for the last 2 years before I got this position.
Okay. So
I was on this show all those times. I was unemployed for 2 entire years doing my job for free.
Anyway, my bottom line, my number one gripe about this is antivirus companies get paid to prevent things from happening. Their bottom line is, how can we make more money doing this? Hackers do not need a financial motivation. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Okay? And those people, those with the skills, the design, the mindset. I met a 17-year-old kid recently. Okay? The man borders on autistic, but is absolutely magical with a keyboard. Okay?
Huh.
His career goals aren't financially motivated. He sees people doing things that are wrong, and all he wants to do is correct them.
I was telling Charles that there are some really strong computer geniuses working in the computer security field.
Speaking as someone who's been in and out of the field and is currently in for a while, I would state that the majority of malware that we see, not just the computer viruses, worms, trojans, rootkits, the non-replicating things, all seem to have some kind of financial motivation. As a matter of fact, it's to the point that these days that when you come across something that doesn't have that is just purely for malicious or maybe a nation state kind of thing or espionage, it's actually notable. The malware industry, not the anti-malware industry, the malware industry has grown up just, well, like we have. And just to respond to the comment earlier about doing things for free, I still spend my time in the evenings, not every evening, but maybe 4 out of 5 nights going on forums and answering people's questions, not necessarily about my products, not necessarily about even computer security problems, but just helping people troubleshoot computer problems. That's something that I do and enjoy doing. So there are people who do have altruistic as well as commercial interest there.
Okay. Now, let's expand beyond the malware segment. What types of threats can anyone defend against right now beyond malware and viruses? Adequately. What can you give me an example of anyone out there right now who, despite the amount of money that the company makes, the amount of money that they move, that can defend themselves against an all-out attack against a extremely savvy opponent?
Well, Ari and I were just talking yesterday about the term advanced persistent threat, and at Microsoft, there's an invitational every year at Microsoft called the what it's called, MSRA, Microsoft Security Research Associates, and they have decided to go with the term determined adversary instead of advanced persistent threat. I was trying to get there earlier in this conversation, and so you're not describing a threat. You're describing an adversary, somebody who is determined to attack their way in. If they're truly determined, they're probably going to find some way in, but there's always one way of making a piece of data unreachable to that adversary, and that's to take it off your network and off your computers and lock it in a freaking vault. Then they have to break into the building to get it.
Okay. My buddy Jack agrees with you.
From my perspective, anti-malware software has never been a panacea for all things, and it never will be. It is one tool that you use to defend against a certain type of threats, category of threats. But with a lot of attacks becoming things like socially engineered, delivered, the user themselves is the threat vector, and that requires education, user education. That is something that
which is what I do.
Difficult to do right, though, and I think it's something that a lot of anti-malware companies, and I'll say, even my past employer, my current employer, may not adequately put enough focus on. Although I think that that's changed over the past a few years. But you're looking for a technological solution to a problem which is
a social
some
problem,
component non-technical, a social problem.
Yeah.
We had crime before there were computers, and we'll certainly have them now that computers have become a part of our society, a tool that we use. Sometimes I'm even a little frustrated by the focus on categorization of malware, where we get so granular in our definitions. To me, that's kind of having arguments over the caliber of the bullets that were used to commit a crime. It doesn't matter. Someone fired a gun.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the idea here is that it's, yes, malware is not the whole deal. It's not even half the deal. It's not even a tenth of the deal. But it's a part of the deal that can be detected, can be prevented, can be detected against. However, if you want to prevent it and you want to detect it, those are two absolutely different things. A traditional detection tool is not a prevention tool. You need to go to whitelisting to do any kind of prevention whatsoever, or something along those lines. Behavioral analysis, network flow analysis, something that isn't about detecting a piece of code. Detecting a piece of code is not the answer. Obviously.
This is going to be the statement that drops the ethical out of certified ethical hacker for Charles Tindall. If I really want into your system, you aren't detecting or catching me doing jack until I want you to catch me. That is the mentality that every single
provided
solitary...
that the system is online to begin with.
Okay. The stance that everybody should take, from F-Secure to Symantec to McAfee to everybody who's doing defense needs to take, is that we are looking at one small corridor that we think these guys are going to attack at. We're going to follow down this signature, we're going to chase after that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, blah, 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 blah. And you're a magician, you're both magicians, you're both into magic and stuff, right? I'm going to misdirect the crap out of both of you and make you think that I'm going to bombard you with malware. Meanwhile, I just hacked your executive assistant's home computer and I've installed spyware on it, and I am stealing every bit of information I can. And that uneducated user just gave me the keys to the kingdom.
Yes, and that happens.
Look at
happens
eBay,
in the real
look
world.
at Target. That is the type of defense that I'm talking about, and that is the type of attack structures that are going to become more and more prevalent. I just did an interview recently that 110 million Americans, and I told the news people flat out, the only reason that the level is at 47% is because the other 50-some-odd% don't realize they've been hacked.
Hey, Jonathan in the chat room asked a question. He wants to know if this. He says, doesn't Microsoft have malware on their own servers that they're never fully eradicated because it would cost too much money to take those servers offline?
Money.
Well, I don't look at malware detection as being how to find an incoming hacker. Hackers are relatively rare occurrences to the average user. What the average user gets is a retail kind of a assault. They don't get the kind of determined adversary that Charles is talking about because they don't have anything that's worth Charles spending that kind of effort to get.
Ask for it in the chat room. It took me 20 minutes.
From my perspective, targeting employees at home is part of spear phishing. That's part of the threat modeling that you have to do. And I certainly know that every security company that I've worked at that sold anti-malware software has had some kind of, if nothing else, a home use option to sell, yes, for additional money, that company, so that their employees could go and install the software on their PCs or Macs or tablets, whatever they're running at home. So I think that there's the awareness that is a vector. Just because you go home and work from home, with the whole consumerization of IT and that blurring of BYOD, that's still has to be considered a part of your threatscape if you're looking at mitigating the risks there.
Hey, side note, I just actually realized there is no Coke in my Jack and Coke.
Oh, gee. Hey, listen, we're coming to the top of the hour break. Aryeh, if you would like, why don't you stay on the phone with us and we'll continue this discussion. I'm extending an invitation for you to stay on the air with us if you'd like. And
thank you. Certainly, I can do that for a few more minutes.
Okay. All right, you're listening to the Computer America Show on the Boost Radio Network, on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. It is David Perry is here with us. Just recently back from Germany and Helsinki. He is now with F-Secure, and he has a brand new title. He's the threat strategist for F-Secure, and of course he's an official Computer America correspondent. Charles Tindall and I will be back briefly, momentarily at the top of the hour. We just have an opening, and then we'll be back and continuing on this conversation. You're listening to the Computer America Show. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@ComputerAmerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host,
Craig Crossman.
And I am your co-host, blank hacker, Charles Tindall.
And on the show with us is David Perry, again, threat strategist for F-Secure, a brand new position. Congratulations to you, David. And also on the phone with us, he just called in, but we're so happy to have him continue on with us, is he's with ESET, Aryeh Goretsky, and and he's kind of joining in with the conversation. He knows David, and we certainly welcome him to.
I actually asked Ari to come on. I told him I can't believe this because Charles is being openly hostile.
I have not yet begun to be hostile. If we want to switch this to a hostile conversation, Craig, I really hope you get the censor button out.
Oh no, I don't. I'm not asking for more hostility.
Okay. Just checking, because this is not Charles.
No, this is plenty. This is plenty hostile enough for me.
Yes, exactly. No, we're trying to keep things friendly, and but it's
in
good.
this corner.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, exactly.
It's more like this. It's more like this. Welcome to Thunderdome. One man leave.
Two men enters, one man leaves. Yes, exactly. So we're continuing on with this topic. We're talking about malware, and of course Charles himself is a certified ethical hacker, and my co-host.
I'm going to invite David back to my third Thursday show.
Well, we could have him back on. His third Thursday show of the month is a hacker show, David. And,
I would love to come back, but I am now employed by an anti-malware firm, and I will have to consider with them if they want me to come back.
Oh.
And if you're going to trash talk me while I'm here,
I'm not trash talking you. Trust me. I think this has gone beyond the overly sensitive portion. I am nowhere near trash talking. I am firmly stating my position that no matter what
we do, that you can hack into a computer.
No.
That's what you said. No matter what we did, that you could hack in and we would never know it.
What I'm saying is that the mentality of companies such as F-Secure, Symantec, and all the other ones is
you are interpreting what you believe my mentality is.
No.
Okay. You're telling me that the defense against the growing threat of a hacker of hackers is to develop a better malware engine.
No.
Okay, then enlighten me.
F-Secure is moving solidly into mobile devices because we see that's where the cutting edge is on security issues. For years it was on DOS machines and floppies, and then it moved into Windows machines and email, and then into Windows machines and the web. Now we're seeing cutting edge stuff coming up in mobile devices and in mobile device hacks. And also in a lot of stuff that we're seeing is Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin theft, so virtual currency theft is on the rise. So we're seeing methodologies rising around those things. So what we're looking at is how to better defend mobile devices, particularly Android for right now, because it, as a stopgap, the Apple solution of operating in a walled garden is working marginally better than the Android world for right this minute. Okay? That'll change over time as well. We saw each of those areas start out as the barest trickle of attacks and turn into the immense flood of attacks that we have in the Windows world right now. And despite the fact that, yes, a determined hacker can attack somebody's administrative assistant, or in the case of what was described as an APT, go join somebody's church picnic so you can get a job on the IT department. Whatever a determined adversary is going to do to break your system, it's probably going to break your system, but to most people, it's going to be malware that they're going to get on your system. To the 99% that you're talking to tonight, the main threat they're going to face this year is going to be malware and not Charles Tindall. Don't you agree?
Ask for it.
Right. No. Don't you agree individual hackers aren't going after the rank and file of people with their, with their crippled bunny browsers and everything, right? Who cares, right?
I don't agree.
There has to be a prize to pick up to make it worth picking up a prize.
There is a prize to pick up. I can use your computer to do things and have a good time doing it, and then the Fed cracks down on you. So thinking just like I tell small business owners right now, that because you're an individual, because you're small, you're not a serious target. You are the easiest target.
Excellent point.
The one people come after.
Excellent point. So you're talking on behalf of hackers who are hacking into people's system for fun and not for profit, then.
Not for profit, fun, constructive ability. I know one guy who's just made it a habit to collect the biggest botnet he can find. And it's through various different techniques. Yes,
so now let's jump back onto the ethical side of that, Charles. Do you think it's unethical to break into other people's privacy? Do you think it's unethical for the NSA to break into people's privacy?
Okay. So here's why this is going to be a tangled web. As a veteran, as a combat veteran, and as someone who has worked for several three-letter government agencies, I understand the need for a government agency to infiltrate the general consumer to identify potential threats. On the consumer side, I think it's completely unethical for you to invade my privacy.
Okay. How about you personally, Charles Tindall, to invade people's privacy?
Who am I invading?
The person who you're hacking into their system just for the fun of it.
Then yes.
Okay, so that's unethical.
Yes.
That's an ethical problem.
Yes. Now,
so you should not be permitted to do that in a lawful state.
Let's talk through everything you just said there. Your question was, do you, Charles Tindall, as a certified ethical hacker, find it unethical to hack into someone's computer just for the fun of it? Is that a correct statement? Is that a correct reiteration of it?
Right.
If you ask me the question slightly different, do you, Charles Tindall, certified ethical hacker, feel that it is unethical to hack into someone's computer to identify a potential threat to person, people, property, or my own well-being as unethical? My answer to you is no.
Okay, so you believe that it is that you are empowered as a private citizen to hack into the computer of anyone for the purposes of proving to them that their computer is hackable.
No. See, this is let's back the crazy train up just a little bit.
Okay.
If I feel that you, David Perry, we'll just follow you out, right?
Right on.
Let's see, Charles didn't invade my privacy. He found information that I already know is out there. He just had to connect the dots. Thank you for it. as Craig can attest to, as Fort can attest to, as everybody that's hearing my voice around the world on this show for the last year or some change that I've been doing this, my thing is you give me a challenge. You wholeheartedly invite me and say, I want to test your skills, I will break you.
I don't do that anymore. I don't. Murray knows why I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, most people don't anymore. But you invite me to it, I'm going to do it. I'm like that vampire. You invite me into your house, I'm there. I'm good.
What about your friend who's connecting the biggest botnet that he did? Did those people invite him to?
No, they did not.
Okay, no, so he is behaving in an unethical fashion.
Now, again, if we further down this rabbit hole, bottom line is very simple. My ethics are different than his ethics. What I feel to be unethical, for example, if I feel that tomorrow my neighbor is developing something that he's going to use to invade my house, I'm going to blow him off the map before he has the opportunity to do it to me. If I feel that there is a credible threat against me, my family, my company, people that I hold close to me, I am going to destroy you, period. Now, the ethical line there, from your perspective, may be, how do you qualify a threat? How do you identify this as a problem? Let's flow on over to my buddy Edward Snowden. He saw a credible threat that the government was abusing power that it had, and he outed them. Some people will say what he did was unethical. Some people will say that what he did makes him a traitor and a terrorist. I say it makes him a patriot. I
sidestep the whole issue. I say that I refuse to call him out as a hero or a villain. I'm going to leave that to history. What I'm saying is Edward Snowden was inevitable.
Okay.
And he's not going to be the last.
Now, here's my question for you. If you can sit there and can you justify the Fed invading people's privacy to identify a credible threat?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There has to be more information.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is the reason that they're justifying doing it is
no, there needs to be more information. Are you talking about them invading everyone's privacy all the time, nonstop, forever?
Oh, I'm going to draw the bottom line on this one here in a second. You're going to realize this is a completely irrelevant line of questioning.
Okay.
Okay. Can you get behind a government that says we feel this is a credible threat? We are going to investigate this threat using every tool in our arsenal. If that includes,
absolutely,
say yes, right?
Absolutely.
You live in a society right now where privacy is an illusion. You
absolutely.
To ISPs,
not only that, it's a very recent illusion.
Yes. You connect to ISPs that say we have the right to snoop on everything you've got and collect every piece of data you want. Cell phones are the same way. The Computer America website collects information about its visitors. I know everything about, well, not everything. I can find out more information about the people in our chat room simply because they join the chat room. And there's a general consensus that you're using a piece of software on my web server that gives me permission. You are interacting with me.
One of the things that we do at F-Secure is anonymize your device.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to use the initials VPN, but we provide a VPN that has other tools attached to it that anonymize and erase the content of your existence on the net. And I'm sure it doesn't do it perfectly, but it's a step up from an unprotected machine, wouldn't you think?
Having something there is better than nothing at all, correct?
Okay, and this is beyond just detecting malware, although this product, by the way, does detect malware, does it in the cloud by intercepting your data stream. And of course, F-Secure is from Finland, where the strongest privacy rules in the world are, where they will not put a backdoor in anything for anybody.
Wait, who? What?
Finland. Finland will not put a backdoor in anything for anybody. Finnish employers are not allowed to Google their prospective employees.
Okay.
Finnish government is not allowed to snoop on people at all.
Do you believe that?
I believe it.
Do you believe that they are legally prohibited, but do you believe that they didn't do it?
I believe that they're not doing it, yeah.
Okay. Edward Snowden signed a non-disclosure agreement while working with the National Security Agency. I know because I signed the exact same agreement. I signed the same gag order that he did. Being prohibited from doing something does not mean that you will not do something.
That's true, too. That's true, too. But I'd say they have a strong cultural aversion to snooping.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's there are things that can be done, there are things that cannot be done. It is, yes, the ship has sailed. Virus detection was great for 1992. I know, I worked in the field in 1992. It worked pretty good back then when the new samples were posted once a month, But as we have progressed, as we put everything in the world online, don't you think that it's important that we start to think about what we can do to protect those things?
Okay, but you have to be thinking about what you can do to protect them using new technologies, ideas, and mindsets. You cannot use Vietnam, World War II, World War I battlefield tactics in an ever-evolving... The threat, the target is constantly moving.
Sure.
The evolution of cyber attacks right now...
Sure. Constantly moving.
What we're
Ari,
saying...
wouldn't you agree? Is Ari still with us?
This is... sorry, having a little audio problem there. My perspective is a little different. I took basically a 10-year vacation from the anti-malware industry from 95 to 2005. I didn't work in it. And so just to comment about using old versus new technologies, when I came back,
wow,
I had,
when you came
I had
back,
to play
the
a
whole
lot
thing,
of catch-up.
Yeah, it totally changed from those years. My gosh, yeah.
Right, but the not just the kinds of threats had changed, but on the back end, the technologies had completely changed as well. And I think that this is something that anti-malware companies have not done a good job of communicating. Basically your typical anti-malware program is a giant hashing engine that's comparing values. And that's not something that is very, well, it's not very perhaps marketable. So it doesn't get a lot of mention. But the days of static strings and just maybe regex patterns are long gone. Yeah. There's a lot of different means to detect threats, and there's a whole new vocabulary in the industry internal to each company that has kind of accreted over the time to deal with those new threats. That's also one of the reasons I don't like using the word computer virus, because it's malicious software. It's a whole spectrum of threats. And again, I don't think that anti-malware software is the solution to all of that. I think it has to be done and used in conjunction with other things, operating system level security, educating your employees, the things that are sometimes kind of a hard sell. Employees don't want to be taken away and have to go to these kinds of classes. They don't think it applies to them, or it's a waste of their time. Businesses don't want to have to pay to upgrade an operating system. They want to continue to use that, Windows XP or Windows Server 2003 computer until it's been ground into the dust. So there's some resistance there that has to be overcome for both the anti-malware side and the user of the anti-malware technologies. But personally, I think that having a bulletproof vest that is maybe not bulletproof but bullet resistant is better than having no armoring at all.
Charles, I want to tell you something that I'm sure you'll agree with. I have long advocated, and Ari has heard me say this a million times, I've advocated that the average computer user has to have 5 or 6 minutes a day of computer security education for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again?
I think every user needs 5 or 6 minutes a day, at least, of computer security education for the rest of their life.
I agree.
Yeah. No, I knew that you would agree with me. I'm not the person that you think I am. I'm bristling at the fact that you think that I'm that. And you know what the problem is? The problem is we've had a lot of people marketing these things who aren't deep in the trenches of fixing the problem. And I come from deep in the trenches. Ari has fixed more people's computer security problems hand on hand than anybody I've ever seen before. That's why I asked him to come on the show. And I've done quite a few, many thousands of them myself. And eventually you give up and you go, look, people, you're going to have to get the idea this just isn't secure. Don't put if the information you're holding would mean the death of thousands of people, don't ever put it on a computer ever. Take it, write it on a piece of paper and burn it, and then shoot yourself and go hide. You know. Yeah. I don't want that kind of information on a computer at all. You know, if it's the plans for the neutron bomb, for crying out loud, get it off of a computer. My favorite thing is when they say Oak Ridge Laboratories had a laptop stolen with the data from 55,000 experiments on it. I'm saying, who let somebody put all that experiment data on a laptop?
Is it practical to not have that kind of information on there?
Well, I don't think it's practical to have it be accessible to even. Then it was like, actually, the existing thing was that an auditor had come into the Oak Ridge Laboratories and left with all of the experimental data on a laptop, and the laptop had gotten stolen. And I said, who let anybody in the door and walk out with all your experimental data? Who's the head of security at these places? Well, you know the answer is people are assuming that they're safe because they think that if something was wrong that they would see it happen. Don't you think that's true?
Yeah.
Most of the time. Well, I don't think that they would have seen it, mostly because they're not looking. You know, there's this complacency that has become the computer.
No. They think it would get up and bite them on the nose. It would have an animated crocodile that would say, "Ha ha! I'm ripping off your system."
Yeah.
That's what people believe in because that's what they see in the Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah.
You know, and it ain't true. The truth of the matter is you don't see any of this stuff anymore. It's pretty much all invisible. I get tweaked for making this point too often that malware is invisible, but every day I talk to people who go, well, I don't have any malware problems. I'm not seeing any problems on my computer. If you had them, you wouldn't see them. Charles, you're telling the truth about that. No, if they had malware problems, they wouldn't see them.
Hey, Ari, can you just back away from the phone? You're breathing into it, so I didn't mean to put you on mute. That's okay. Yeah.
But there's
Yes, David. I am your father.
Oh no, you're not. Yeah. My dad fought in World War II.
No problem.
No, that's
yes. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with you at DEF CON. We can have a lot of fun at DEF CON.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Trust me, this year is going to be a little different than what I'm used to. Normally, I go and I'm the one that's misbehaving. I mean, participating in the educational material.
Right. What?
You mean you're Ed Gruberman?
This year,
now, just a second. Breaking up. For some reason, we got to.
He's ring modulated.
The founder and CEO of an organization, and I have no idea what you're saying.
Charles, I'm just getting back. By any chance, are you using a VPN again? Because you just really got really back down. We could barely hear what you were saying all of a sudden.
VPN is not enabled. I have no wraps running. I have nothing going on. How am I sounding now?
You went sideband, Charles.
You did for a moment. You're back now, but
well, it was you were talking and it went away. I'm not sure.
You know, no. You went sideband. It was weird. Yeah, it was fully weird. You sounded like a robot from a '70s disco album.
I'm being DDoS. That's what's happening right now. Yeah.
Definitely some packet loss on the audio. To comment, I think I actually agree with both Charles and David. The threats out there are ones that people don't see, and this is one of the reasons I myself get incredibly frustrated when people say things like, I don't run security software on my computer because I would know if it were compromised. And if you have common sense, you won't get compromised. And that was true to some extent, especially in the days when computers were so slow that even the most minute change to a computer was immediately visible in its performance. But now that you have computers operating at gigahertz speeds with gigabytes of RAM, the operations of malicious software largely are invisible to end users. Typically, the only thing that people see is maybe some problems shutting down their computer, and simply because whatever's running on there is resisting attempts to get shut down, as the operating system closes shop.
Well, and I used to say it was all invisible, and then we had a whole run of ransomware, which is the dumbest grade of malware possible, is ransomware. We've captured your system, send us...
Actually, David, this might be something you guys might be interested in over at F-Secure. We may have found a way to kill CryptoLocker.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't know exactly what we're doing about that currently. So I will have to take a look and see what it is that we're doing currently, but do contact me offline and we can talk about this.
Will do.
The other thing that we're doing is we're now providing, we have a Dropbox clone that is more secure and has social networking built into it that is called United, Y-O-U-N-I-T-E-D. So take a look at it. You get 5 gig for free. If you need more than that, you can buy it or you can earn it by recommending other people into it. And it does some stuff that other Dropbox sorts of things don't, other cloud storage does not do. It started out as a backup program and they said, no, nobody wants to back up anything. However, let me tell you people, when people do find that their system is infected...
Wait, what do you mean by you people?
The listeners. Dear listener. Oh, dear listener. This is Gary Lewis. No, okay. So the people are a friend of mine who is really a savvy computer guy calls me up and he's infected with something, and he goes, "I'm infected with something." I said, "Reflash your system." And he goes, "Well, can't we? Like, I want to pick at it and open up the registry and look and see where it is." I said, "No, reflash your system." We don't bother to track and do all that stuff anymore. Everything you do just digs you in deeper. Just reflash your system. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, get prepared to reflash your system as the answer to a problem, because that's going to be the answer. Do you agree, Charles?
Well, wait a minute. Before he says that, I mean, look, Addison in the chat room, I think, said something like about this before you even said the reflash. He said one thing that would help, I'm reading Addison's comment, is if Microsoft would make it easier to blow away and reformat a drive, reinstall Windows apps, and finally just put your files back on.
You mean like Apple did?
Yeah.
Apple did a pretty good job at that, I think.
Yeah.
Well, there's another one on there that Addison added. On Linux, I can do all of the above in about an hour, and I do it twice a year when Mint releases a new version. I actually run my OS partition or my root partition on one part of the drive and my home directory on a complete another one. So I can actually do it in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I do that as well.
The reflashing is the answer?
Well, there are a lot of answers that are coming. This is why I say that it's going to take, a little computer security education every day, because, like, to be even as caught up as I am, and I do not call myself a hacker, just kidding, okay, just to be as caught up as I am, it takes 8 to 10 hours of reading a day, and analysis and thought. It's like being in college for the rest of my freaking life. So I'm sure Carl,
okay.
You're the same way. Well, aren't you running a Chromebook and a Linux machine and a Windows machine and a Mac all at the same time? Are you running virtualization?
No. Well, I'm running a Mac machine. I've got a Linux machine. I do have my Chromebook. Yes.
Yeah, but me too. Ari?
Windows is kind of blasphemous.
You're not running Windows even as a reference system, or you're running Windows in a VMS partition?
No, there is no native Windows machine, no native Windows on any of my machines that I directly interact with. We have our virtual lab that has several Windows systems and a virtual network that we toss things at, we throw attacks at, we test 0 days on, we test development on, we test all kinds of fun things on in our little virtual lab. And once we infect one, we just open another snapshot and we're good to go.
Ari, you're a Windows MVP. Is it possible to make Windows secure enough to run?
That's loaded. He can't say no.
I mean, NT had C2 level security by 92, if I recall, was the slogan. But the problem is, to do those kinds of things, it's not particularly easy. I would like to point out, though, that with the arrival of Windows 8 and now 8.1 and 8.1 update, Microsoft did introduce, the ability to refresh the operating system, as well as reload a clean version of it as part of the native OS. You no longer have to rely on a third-party utility or just do a burn and reload. I have not played around with that extensively, so I don't know what the exact threat vectors are. But I did make use of it when I was researching that technology, and on a clean system, just dealing with normal system-level problems, or even regular non-pervasive rootkit type malware, it seemed to handle everything just fine. So I think Microsoft is already there.
All right.
I'd actually like to.
We got a break, so hold on. We'll be right back. We're at the bottom of the hour. We'll be right back. This is the Computer America Show. David Perry is here with us, and Charles Tendell. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 120,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, Cover America Auto Care has announced revolutionary, inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for drivers to call who own a vehicle that is less than 10 years old for a free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number is 800-483-2514. Drivers who are covered with this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair again. This is the auto coverage now sweeping across America at a fraction of what dealerships charge and is now available to the public by calling today. The number to call is 800-483-2514. 800-483-2514. That's 800-483-2514.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hi, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin review of Audio-Technica ATH M20X headphones. We've long respected Audio-Technica for the extraordinarily good quality of their full-size headphones, and their new ATH M20X professional monitor headphones are true to that heritage, even though they are among the least expensive. As monitor headphones should, these put an emphasis on transparency, not coloring the sound with the boomy bass boosts of so-called DJ headphones. We played back tracks spanning 60 years and could easily hear, for example, the notes from a single piano behind a big Dean Martin session. Bottom line, The audio transparency of the full-size Audio-Technica ATH M20X professional monitor headphones makes them a great choice for discerning on color detail in audio. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Thank you for that, Marty. We always enjoy. Well, we're starting to enjoy. What are we calling that?
The News Tips
Bulletin? News Tips Bulletin.
Marty's been doing that for years.
Yeah.
God, I was still at McAfee the first time I met Marty Winston, and that was 1994.
He's been around. He's a venerable guy. He's been around for a long time, and I've known him for many years as well. But he started doing these, and I said, hey, why don't we actually bring and do a segment, a minute and a half, maybe even a 2-minute segment from time to time on Computer America, and he loved the idea, so we just started doing this with Marty. But you like him? He was talking about those new headsets he was talking about in this hour.
I enjoy the fact that he took the passive-aggressive stab at those DJ headphones. And you know how I feel about those DJ headphones.
Beats. Exactly.
I didn't say it.
I know, I did.
I didn't say it, man. Anyway,
I don't know. Apple paid a lot of money for them. I think they wanted the music service, though.
That's
what they wanted, was the music service. The headphones are
billions of dollars with a B.
The headphones are crap, and the only reason they paid billions of dollars because it's Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Only reason. It is disturbing.
He's got a record store out on the Orange Circle out by where I live here in Orange County. When are you coming to Southern California, Charles?
You just missed me. I was actually it wasn't Southern California. I was in, oh God, where were we? Not even a month ago. A friend of mine's birthday party was out there. God, where were we? I don't even remember where we flew into.
Why am I looking at the blue screen of death?
Oh, that's my
a good
Windows
look
machine.
for you, Craig.
Yeah, that's my Windows machine. It crept into the Hangout.
That's okay. Yeah. That's your Windows station going there.
Here, watch. We're gonna do this. We're gonna format reinstall. Oh, dang! Check that out. See how fast that was?
You know, of all of the computers you could have back from your past, what computer would you like from the past?
Ooh, that's
my Sinclair, Timex Sinclair.
You know, you can have my Sinclair, Craig. I'm packing it up and sending it out to you tonight. Charles?
My Tandy Sensation, Windows 3.1. It had a, what did they call it at the time? A media drive on it. It was no. Take it back. My father's Laser. It was an off-brand something computer, again running Windows like stupid nothing. 5-inch floppy disk drive. He brought it home, and him and a friend had to pull this thing out of the box. It was one of the cancer ray tubes.
Sure. Hey, the first 30 years I was computing was with cathode ray tubes.
See?
I have 9 fingers on my left hand, but it's a whole other issue.
You don't remember Apple made something. They had the Apple II and the Apple IIe and the Apple II Plus and the Apple IIe and the Apple.
I remember those. Remember
the Apple II GS?
2GS was a cool machine. That was a cool machine.
I'm not sure what machine it was, but I got respectfully asked to leave my biology class because I told the teacher that it was common sense to do X, Y, or Z on her computer, and she looked at me and said, "You're disrespectful. Go to the headmaster."
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I would admit I missed my Eagle. I worked for a company called Eagle that was one of the original clone makers, and we made machines that weren't gnarly enough to run. Never ran Windows. They were DOS machines.
Woo! See, actually, that's what I loved about my first interaction. Not my first computer, but my first interaction with a computer. My father brought it home, unpacked it, and said, "Don't touch it." And anytime anybody asked me, what got you into computers, I say I blame my dad because of that very reason. Had he said go to town, I'd probably been like, yeah, whatever. But it was all DOS. It was DOS. Oh God, I want to say 6.2.
CPM? No.
It was an old version of DOS, and you could still pull up the blue and white word processor thing. You could pull up all kinds of little stuff on
That's pretty late DOS, Charles.
Yeah. I'm not.
I mean,
that old.
I started in DOS 1.25.
Oh, trust me, I've gone back into time. If you ever come out to Colorado, you need to come visit me at my house and see my classic computer collection. And I'm telling Craig, one of these days, I'm going to do this show on my TRS-80.
When you get to England, when you next get to England, you have to go to Bletchley Park. You know what happened at Bletchley Park, right?
No.
The electronic programmable computer was invented in Bletchley Park to break the Enigma code.
Yeah, what's the name? Patricia Wright did a thing on that. Remember, she did a London Minute on that.
Yeah.
Oh, David, my wife did her thing and sent me the appropriate information. We were just in Sacramento less than a month ago.
That's only 450 miles from here.
Oh, wow, I could have walked.
Yeah, no, you have to come down here so I can take you to the Magic Castle, and you'll find out why you can't hack into it is that there aren't any computers there.
I would love to accept that official. If you could get something on a piece of paper.
There aren't any computers.
But they all carry cell phones.
Oh, you can hack people, but that Magic Castle itself, no computers.
There may not be. Well, I highly doubt there may not be any computers in the traditional sense.
Like
but it's got to have security.
With people showing card tricks.
It's got to have security mechanisms. It's got to have surveillance mechanisms.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's true. There's a network, and we have security, and we have RFID tags, and we have all kinds of stuff going on. You're right. You could hack it. It would be easy. It would be an open door.
I would enjoy.
No challenge. No challenge to you.
You're not issuing a challenge, or you're just saying it wouldn't be a challenge?
I am not issuing a challenge. It would be no fun for you.
Fort in the chat room blames me for getting into computers, so I thought it was a very nice thing for him to say.
Aww.
Your fault, Craig. It's entirely your fault.
That's it.
Okay, so if you are interested in protecting your devices, and who isn't? I can't offer you 100% protection against a mighty dread like Charles here. I can offer you
stop patronizing me.
best tested among the best tested protection in the world. I could ask you to take a look at F-Secure's protection.
All right. Now, because you said they offer actually three products that we're talking about here tonight, which is F-Secure Safe, right? And then United, YOU. NITED, it's sort of like Dropbox with a social network slant to it.
Absolutely, and Freedome.
Yes, traffic in the cloud.
So we also make a key manager that holds a whole bunch of keys encrypted for you, so that you can use longer, harder to crack keys. I will tell you, one of my main security problems in the world is I get tired of how many things want passwords from me. I mean, we are asking for passwords from entirely inappropriate things that don't need passwords.
Speaking of keys, by the way, I was just at Lowe's today and I saw I saw a vending machine that you can go to and it will actually make keys. You can take your key, insert it, and it will actually make duplicate keys and everything. And it's online. I thought, wow, this is such a cool thing. You know, you can make keys in a few moments. You actually watch it. And then I thought to myself, the hacker in me said, wow. I said, maybe.
It only took me almost 2 years to get you to start thinking about security.
Yeah. I said, maybe not only is it reading my key, but maybe, it's sending a little file off to these people and they're getting my key. They could actually make as many keys.
Well, it's worse than that, because increasingly people are taking physical door keys in apartments and hotels and stuff and putting them online. Charles and I both walked to the same vendor at CES selling door locks for your house that are connected to the internet for some god-awful reason.
That sounds like something Craig.
It's key. We had Keyset on the show. Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's Kwikset, and I apologize. I apologize ahead of time. I think I pissed him off.
Yeah, I know you did.
I'm sorry.
I'm never coming on that show again with that guy.
Well, I mean, he honestly, in his defense, he knew where I was about to go with the line of questioning. And instead of stopping it, he let me go to the next phase of how are you securing this when it gets connected to the network, and his response was, "That's up to you. That's on the consumer." And yeah, that's a bad idea. That's
kind of an irresponsible answer, isn't it?
That's exactly how I felt, and I tried to be tactful. I thought I was pretty good.
Well, you know, I like the company because they have some very many innovations. Except one of the things I love about the Kwikset lock is that if you want to rekey a lock, instead of having to call a locksmith and charge $100 to rekey it, you can take the old key and the new key and this little button thing you push, and it will rekey itself automatically, which I thought was really slick.
Craig, that reminds me. I need to send you copies of your keys. Sorry.
Okay, I'm looking at my desk. There's a dozen sets of lockpicks on my desk. I'm sure there's a couple on Charles's. I think I've got a pick gun here. Here, I've got a pick gun.
Yeah, if you're watching the video that are sponsored by Otherworld Computing or MacSales.com, bam! That's Charles's lockpick gun.
Yeah, I got a lockpick gun here too.
Is yours from Sparrows?
No, I got mine from Kwikset Locks. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Actually, when I worked in a locksmith shop in 1966.
And here's my high-speed little manual pick set. Which, by the way, if you ask me or just about anybody else, this is true lockpicking. This thing here, the lockpick gun.
That's the bounce.
This is kind of cheating. It's basically a big bump key, which reminds me.
Bumping. A lot of the locks are.
Craig, do any of the keys on this here keychain look familiar to you?
Looks like my car key.
Like this one here. So yeah, actually, and David, that's an interesting story. So I picked up this lock set not from DEF CON, but when I was at DEF CON, I saw it and I almost bought it there. But then this little voice sounded very oddly similar to my wife's voice saying, "Do you really need that? Do you really, really need that?"
It was your wife, wasn't it? She was standing right next to you?
Yes. No. It wasn't until I got home. It was like, I saw this lockpick set, and exactly, it was, "Do you really need that?" And then after I got them in, I was extremely excited, and I spent a good deal of time picking locks in my own house. And then my wife was like, "Okay, you're going to stop playing with it, whatever." Then we got our whole office rekeyed, right? We got the whole office rekeyed. And then guess what happened?
What?
We got locked out of the office because I left my keys on my desk.
Were you able to pick your way back in?
My lock picks, these guys right here, were in my bag, or what my wife likes to call my man purse. And I was like, "I got this. Watch this." Picked the lock, pulled it, got it open. Then we ordered a Schlage combination keypad lock, and haven't been locked out since.
Right.
Yeah.
I can tell you that most magicians learn how to pick locks really early. It's a very standard magician skill.
Medical locks? Aren't they pick resistant? Because
what locks?
There are a whole bunch of different kinds of locks that are pick resistant. There's a whole line of locks that are made just for the U.S. Navy, where they lock a lot of things in common areas that are called BEST. Have you ever picked a BEST padlock, Charles?
No, but I'm about to order one on Amazon to find out.
Yeah, you can do it. It takes a little learning curve. And automobile door locks are a little more difficult to pick with a set of hand picks. You need a pick gun to do it right.
No, you need a pick gun or a Slim Jim. Or actually, what I've established is the easiest way to pick most modern car locks is to call OnStar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Online. Weakest link in the chain. Weakest link in the chain.
That's what's it called? The human and was it engineer? What do you call
Social
it?
engineer.
Social. Yeah. In other words, so that's it. So you're basically pretending to be the.
Do you have OnStar on your PT Cruiser?
No, I don't.
Do you have remote entry on your
PT Cruiser? OnStar is a GM car thing.
GM. Yeah. Is it Chrysler? Chrysler is who made the PT Cruiser, aren't they a GM?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought
Dodge. American Motors.
Oh.
Although both of them have now had acquaintances with Fiat Corporation.
Which is funny.
Fiat Godzilla tried to eat one. He couldn't do it.
Tried to eat a Fiat?
Yeah.
Did it just drive out of him?
That commercial? That's where he's trying to eat all those little cars and he eats a Fiat and he spits it out.
No, that's a Cooper. that he tries to eat.
I thought it was, yeah, he eats good. Well, I don't.
Ari again. Hello, Ari.
Ari, are you still with us?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have a television. I rarely go to movies, so you've kind of slid past me at this point.
That's okay. We we can get back on track. What about lock picking?
Not an area that I'm very familiar with.
Okay. What is your area? What is your area of expertise, if I might ask, Ari?
I'm mainly focused on Windows anti-malware technologies these days.
Okay. Even with Windows 8.1 and 8.1 update?
Certainly. No operating system, I think we'll all agree, is secure. I think Microsoft has invested a lot, especially since the XP days, in making Windows more secure. But when you're the biggest operating system out there by usage, you're also the biggest target.
Yes,
That's true. That is the main thing that works against Microsoft in this regard.
Yeah. We're not too far away from Windows 9, and I'm understanding that they're going to make Windows 9 a lot like what Windows.
Oh wait, isn't the Apple conference tomorrow morning?
Yeah, the Worldwide Developer Conference.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the new iOS.
Yeah, iOS 8 is going to.
It's rumored there's going to be some oh my god, multitasking on the
It's
iDevice.
rumored that there's going to be a phablet. There's rumors that the 6 is going to be available as a phablet.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, me too.
You're not into big?
No.
Well, I mean, you have to look at it like this. So, if you're watching the live video stream, this is an iPhone 5S.
Yay! It's not gold.
This is the Nexus 5.
Mm-hmm.
I am a big fan of the Nexus 5. It is a very good in-your-hand device. It's very functional. It's very nice. It's very good. If iPhone jumps to being a similar size of this or the Galaxy S series, all they're going to do is show that they're playing catch-up. Now, all of the renderings, all of the mock-ups that I've seen, they take it, they flatten it out, and make it slightly wider. If they do that, I will likely go back to an iDevice.
Well, you still use an iDevice. You told me you use your iPhone.
I use my iPhone especially when I travel to DEF CON and Black Hat this year. You bet your sweet patootie I'm going to be rocking my iPhone.
I'm bringing my iPhone and it's going to be running Freedom.
Freedom?
Yes, that's a new product. It scans traffic in the cloud.
Oh, I'll have to check that one out. Actually, if when I go
do that and tell me what you think. You have my number and stuff, don't you? Do that and tell me what you think. I really am interested in your opinion on this.
Run what?
On Freedom.
Run the.
It's like Freedom with an E.
It's Freedom with an E. It's Freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah, it's from F-Secure. It is a VPN for your phone.
I'll check it out. I mean, we've got Pro XPN and Pro XPN that we're running right now, and I've been playing with that on my mobile devices and on my Mac and everything else, and so far it's been pretty good. And it's actually their installs for both the Android and my iDevice were actually really, really kind of simple. So I'll have to check it out alongside, but Pro XPN has actually been treating me pretty well so far. So.
Yeah.
Actually, when I go this year, it's going to be sad because last year when I went, I was rocking this. If you're watching the video, this is my high-speed Computer America Galaxy S4.
Yeah, it's got a Computer America logo on it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool. Actually, it was interesting. When I ordered it, I didn't expect it to fit as snug as it has on this thing. And I do have to admit, this is probably my favorite case for my S4.
There you go.
Except for the fact that it just says Craig Crossman's Computer America. It doesn't say the new feature on it.
Now, Ari is going. You're going to Avar, Ari?
Quite possibly. I haven't put in my travel for that yet, but I do plan on going to that, as well as Virus Bulletin, which will be in Q3 of this year.
It's unfortunate that Virus Bulletin is named Virus Bulletin because people think it's about viruses then, which it isn't.
A misnomer.
No, it's
grown beyond that over the years.
Yeah, the actual amount of computer viruses, the actual infect existing file, boot sector, MVR, VBR, macro, whatever, that we see on a day-to-day basis, usually hovers, well under 10%. Most of the malware that we see out there is non-replicating. It doesn't spread from file to file, or from your computer to another. So I always try to be very cautious about using the word virus because there's the public perception of what that means, and then there's malware, which is what you and I and probably are.
From day one, we were detecting malware. From day one, what we were doing was detecting malware. I mean, everybody from right on the first day was detecting the AIDS Trojan. That was not a virus; it was a Trojan. And what year did Yisrael make up the term malware? That would be 87 or 86?
Israel Radai at was it Technion or University of Jerusalem? I think coined
University of Jerusalem. That's before. That's before Fawcett and Amjad Farouk Alvi.
Well,
who invented the Pakistani brain virus in 1988?
You have to answer that with a question because this is
you do realize that there was yet another virus out there that hasn't come out yet, but it's been prolific around the world.
Stupidity?
No. It's called the Crossman virus. Yeah. See, what happens is people listen to this thing called Computer America, and they get sucked in, and then they're just stuck here for life, and they can't go anywhere else. And they visit the website, they go and they check out our sponsors, they talk about all this other stuff, and hopefully they join our Google Plus community. But things happen.
Hey, all right, listen, I want to thank you for being with us here on the show tonight. We're going to say goodnight, but again, thanks for being here on the program, and very interesting. And maybe we can get you back as a guest, sometime.
Thank you for having me on this evening. That certainly might happen again in the future.
All right. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
All right, so there you go.
You're going to thank me, too?
Not in a minute, yeah, but I want to. So again, if people want more information, they can go to the F-Secure website. What is it?
Which is www.fsecure.com.
And there's a hyphen.
Secure.
F-Secure, right? It's absolutely true. F-Secure.
But don't spell the word hyphen. It's just really a hyphen.
F-Secure.
Yeah, well, don't spell the word dash either.
I'm going to go see if those domains are available. I'm going to order them right now.
Or you can just go to our website. Just go to our website at computeramerica.com, go to the show notes page, and again, you'll see tonight's show, May 29th, Thursday, and we have a link to the F-Secure website right there. Okay? So it's just that simple.
That's until Charles hacks that, actually.
I'm not going to hack them. Actually, but I do want to warn you, f-secure.com is available.
Oh, what do you know?
And actually, with all the guys you've got over, all the brain power you have over at F-Secure.
But F-Secure with no dash redirects to F-Secure without a with a dash.
But F-dash secure.com is available. Just saying.
Wow, I'll point that up.
What about how about F-hyphen, H-Y-P-H-E-N?
Let me check.
Let's see if that's available.
H-Y-P-H-E-N.
Hey, David, listen, we want to invite you back next month.
Also available.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll talk sometime soon. Charles, I will see you in Vegas. We can have a further discussion on this.
Yes, sir.
And I don't disagree with you. What I'm saying is not all of us are as limited in our thinking as you might think.
It's not a matter of limited thinking. It's just a matter of we have to change the perspective of what the consumers are looking
the problem that we've got is the reason we go on referring to it is as antivirus software is that way the consumers can find it on the shelf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is your antivirus software doing to protect the consumer against?
We don't have any antivirus software. We don't have any software called antivirus software.
It's from the old days. It's just call it malware anti-malware software or something.
We have a product called Security.
Yeah, there you go.
We have a product called Safe. We have a product called Freedom. And what we're trying to ensure is not that you're virus-free, but your digital freedom, your ability to operate without being eavesdropped on the Internet.
David, hey, thanks again for being with us tonight. And we look forward to your appearance again on the show, next month.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Hey, take care. Have a good evening.
David.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That about wraps it up for tonight here on the Computer America show. And thanks so much for being with us. Now, tomorrow night, we're going to have Mike Miller.
Oh, it's open mic night.
Open mic night. And that's all coming up on tomorrow night's show. And I just want to point people out real quickly that if you go to computeramerica.com and check out our limited special offer, it's right there on our homepage. It's ProXPN. We've explained what it is. You need it, really, to be 100% secure when you go online. We have a special deal. If you just use the code COMPAM, COMPAM, you get an additional 20% off membership, which means if you go for the yearly version, it's about $5 a month for the year. And by the way, when you use
90 seconds,
you get that 20% off membership for life. I mean, it's really great. So go have it over there. Just go to our website, check out the offer, click anywhere there, and it'll take you right to the special page that talks about ProXPN. And check it out. You need it in this day and age. You really need to have a VPN network so you can protect who you are and where you are whenever you use your computer. You really need to do that. Check it out. Tomorrow night, as I said, Mike Miller is going to be on the show with us. Mike is a celebrated author. He's written over 150 books on all kinds of topics. And we're going to be talking about Microsoft, a new book called Microsoft Excel, My eBay for Seniors. He's going to talk about the top Windows apps. I mean, he's got all kinds of cool things that we're going to be talking about, and that's on tomorrow night's show. And hopefully you will be with us on tomorrow night. So again, thanks to David Perry for being with us, and we will see you tomorrow. And it's Friday night. That means, yeah, we got more movies coming up. I'm not sure what they are, but we'll have to see what that is. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk
never becomes
squiffy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
10 seconds.
Say goodnight, Craig.
Good night, Craig.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, and good night to everybody watching us on the live video streaming brought to you by Otherworld Computing. We will see you tomorrow night, and with Mike Miller. Should be a good show.
Open mic night.
Open mic night. So good night. We'll see you tomorrow.